Hi everyone, Spydiechick here. We're going to start our first episode of what I'm calling as Knife Talk, episode 1. If you're wondering what this is, well, I made a little, I guess I would say a pretty candid video that I just talked about the background and essentially why I'm wanting to make this separate series. And if you're interested, take a chance to take a look at that. I go into quite a bit of detail on why I think that could be something I'm quite interested in. Something a little bit more candid, a little bit more, I guess, current. And pretty much what I'm going to be going over is a few things, my thoughts on some interesting things within the knife community that I wanted to speak about. And then I want to talk about some channel news and then give some updates on my EDC. Well, I would say the first thing I want to talk about regarding the knife community is that I wanted to just do a shout out to this Instagram individual. Essentially, it is a maker, or at least a customizer, of all things that are titanium or micarta handles. And I want to say is what initially stuck out to me is that this channel, and their name is DNT3_custom_knifeworks. This is an individual that had photos that were quite dark and almost mysterious, and I found that it was quite, I guess, alluring in that way. They make custom scales and backspacers and other modifications as well. So that was something that was quite interesting to me, and I'll talk more about why that's quite significant a little bit later. And yeah, so I think one of the things I wanted to mention too is I know that there's quite a few things coming up in terms of new exclusive models from different vendors. The one I wanted to point out in particular was something that was Benchmade related. And this is the upcoming model from Blade HQ, and it's actually the Benchmade Osborn 940. And the reason why this kind of sparked my interest was because I know that the recent new edition of the 945, or some people call it the mini Osborn, actually is coming out. So I looked into some of the new exclusive models, and there's one coming out, I'm not sure when, but it's the Osborn 940 with an M4 blade with translucent jade G10 handles. So that seems something that's like very interesting for me, and I'm interested, but I would say I'm not planning on purchasing it just because I've made some recent purchases, and that kind of leads me to some of my channel news, some of the things that are coming up. And for instance, here I have the Spyderco Para3, a knife that I think is just wonderful, and one of the reasons why I really enjoy it is because of this compression lock. And as quite a few people, I guess if you follow my channel, you'll know that the Little Native is one of my all-time favorite Spyderco knives. And the reason why I don't have it here is because I actually sent it off, and this was actually my farewell photo that I sent it off to. And if you follow me on Instagram, the reason why I sent it off was because I actually sent it to DNT3, the customizer that I mentioned earlier, and I'm setting in for some new scales, a new backspacer, some blade work, and a new clip. And well, since I actually am sending it for some bladed work as well, I actually had to send the knife, and since the fellow is located in the Czech Republic, it'll take some time for it to come back, but I am just absolutely excited to get that back and show you all what that looks like. And I'm getting more curious in terms of customization, just in general, as I take a look at my collection over time, and I really enjoy the knives that I have now. And I'm thinking, okay, how can I make it a little bit better? I mean, I really like the size, for instance, of the MKM Isonzo here. As if you watch my review on that, I really enjoy this knife. I like this size, and I really like my micarta handles, etc. So I have a lot of knives that I enjoy. So how can I make them just a little bit better, essentially? So another thing I want to mention too is just some channel news. I'm really excited for this one. Is recently, as I think quite a few people are aware about Brassworks, and this individual, he goes by 875 FPS on Instagram, and recently he had a drop, and of course I think a lot of people know about the wonderful Swiss Army knife Cadet. And one of the things I've actually wanted to get for a while was a customized Swiss Army knife. And I know for him, he actually does drops every once in a while. And I was really excited because I was able to get one. And I remember I kind of planned my day around this. I remember I had all my information ready. And then I actually was just waiting and doing the countdown, just pressing F5, F5. And it was just funny. It just gave me a lot of joy that way, where I got to actually purchase something. I think I finished doing the checkout in less than 1 minute. So I'm wondering if I was maybe the first one to purchase something, because I think this was a pretty high sought-off model. Anyways, so I purchased something. I'm not going to mention what it is. All I want to say is that it's kind of similar to this one, a little bit bigger, and I am excited to get it and show you all about that too, since I've been thinking a lot about customized things recently. So just shout out to that, and I am so stoked on when I will get that. I believe it's already shipped, so I'm quite curious. And I think I'm entering into a little bit of another realm now, since I'm entering into the realm of getting things that are a little more expensive, probably the $300-400 range, depending on the currency that you use. So we'll see how things go, but regardless, I am pretty stoked because this is something new. And I think one thing that's interesting here, this is, I would say, still along the line of channel news, is that I recently actually purchased an FJ Cruiser, my husband and I, and we've done some really light off-roading, and it has been really fun. And I think with just with the limitations of social distancing, etc., I want to make sure we keep people safe. So haven't been seeing many people at all, really, except for those in our bubble, which is smaller and smaller these days. So that's been a lot of fun, just to be able to get outside, enjoy some nature. And I want to say is that in terms of things that are kind of upcoming in my channel, I'm still reviewing this, which is the Sailor Professional Gear Slim. And I've really enjoyed it, and I've actually been using it quite often. I've been using it to write out a lot of verses that I've been memorizing recently, just related to our some of the studies that I've been doing, just with some Bible verses, etc. But anyways, it's something I've just been really enjoying, because I've been able to just amalgamate some of my hobbies and interests and beliefs and into my EDC hobby. So that's been really, really nice. So that is upcoming, and I am very excited for that. And I want to spend some more time just getting to know this pen in a quite a serious way, because I know recently I've been purchasing some Iroshizuku different forms of ink. Here's one right over here, as well as we have I haven't actually even opened this one. This is another one as well, this Yoru. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And then I also have the Konpeki, which is a tried and true blue color, which I think is just lovely. And really been enjoying that. Look forward to this review coming out soon. And another thing I wanted to mention is, I guess the third thing I want to include in these little knife talks is essentially just some updates on my EDC. And one thing in particular here that I recently got, this is just something small, but you know, it's hard to add more things to the keychain. I think a lot of people can relate to this, how updating your EDC for your keys can take a little while. And I think I found a combination that I like right now. And this is the Olight IR2 EOS. And this is just a small little light, and I've actually been quite surprised at how much I've actually enjoyed it. It's really small. It comes in about 1.73 inches, roughly about 43 millimeters, and quite inexpensive, about 15 USD or 20 Canadian dollars. And you can find it for cheaper than that, because sometimes they have a lot of sales. And this has been wonderful. I do wish that it would have USB-C, of course, but I mean, that's okay considering the price, but I do think that would be great. But I like how you can charge it right in here, and there's no extra pieces moving around, because with keys, that's always a risk. And there's some really usable light modes. Symbol twist action, you have 5 lumens, and then 150 for a short duration. It's been quite nice, quite a nice simple addition. Adding it onto my keychain, which includes my car keys, key organizer, and a Swiss Army knife manager, which I mainly use for the pen. So, well, that's that. That essentially is my update for my first episode of my knife talk. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know a few things. Let me know if you enjoy this format. This is something, a series that I've been thinking about for quite a while for those reasons that I mentioned in my previous prelude or introduction video, because I want to do something that's a little more fluid, talking about many different things. I still plan to do a lot of these other reviews coming up for more in-depth things. But I think this way I'm hoping that I'll be able to interact with people a little bit more. And so what do you think about this new format? Are there any particular things that you want me to dig into out of the things that I've just mentioned and showcased? And are you interested, would you be interested in doing or just seeing an in-depth, more in-depth review of something like this for this one here, the EOS? Well, in any case, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. And also you can follow me on my Instagram channel. I do mention a bunch of these different things already. And I'm hoping to interact with people more too. Feel free to leave comments and take care. Bye-bye.